Welcome to our presentation on how to eliminate pain and boost energy with healing frequencies in as little as 8 minutes. Hi, it's Adrian Armstrong, founder of the PEMF solution. If you haven't heard of PEMF before, it stands for Pulsed Electromagnetic Fields. Whether you're here today to eliminate your own pain or discomfort, or whether you're here trying to help someone else, what I'm sharing with you today will give you a solution to your pain and lack of energy. It's also the solution to protecting yourself from the ever-increasing threat from Wi-Fi and the coming 5G networks. In today's presentation, I'm going to offer you the solution to the pain and lack of energy that is limiting your enjoyment of life. This has worked for hundreds of my clients and for millions of people worldwide for over 25 years. So you may be wondering why you haven't heard of it before. Our existing mainstream approaches to chronic illness really haven't worked that well for most people. Often diagnosis isn't clear, and drugs are given to mask the symptoms. It's quite well known in Europe, however, in North America it was actually first used for thoroughbred racehorses. Anyway, let's start with who this is not for. This isn't for anyone who's not open to learning new information or who's willing to improve their health. And who is this for? It's for people who want better health, more energy, or who sincerely love helping others. And it's also for activists who want to help create a movement for change and healthier environments for ourselves and future generations. Unfortunately, we're not being told the truth about the dangers of wireless and radio frequencies and the safety of the environments that we live in. Here's a couple of short testimonial videos. First is James Wilson, the skeptic.
I didn't know anything about it, really, but I still didn't want anything to do about it. So then I was with Diana and Goldie and Adrian. We're all there at Diana's place, and they said, go on the mat. Well, I was outnumbered, so I went on the mat.
In the zero gravity chair, right?
Pardon me?
In the zero gravity chair.
In the zero gravity chair, yeah. So I did, Adrian said it, I think, and we did two regeneration sessions, which are 24 minutes long. So basically 50 minutes, and I got off the mat and I said, oh, that was so relaxing, but my elbow hurts so bad right now, just like it has been for a couple of years, and it didn't do anything for that, and my hand still doesn't work properly, so good luck, Di. Anyways, 3 days later I was back there, same 3 people, outnumbered again, back on the mat, 2 24-minute sessions, really relaxing. I don't know if I heard the buzzer go when somebody must have restarted it. Anyways, I got off the mat and I said, wow, that was really relaxing again, but the pain in my elbow is bleep, 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 gone. And that was something that was basically controlling my life. And we had already sold our property, and I was leaning towards apartment or condo or townhouse, something strata, no outside work. I'd already given away a bunch of my tools, because my belief was this pain in my elbow and the fact that I couldn't use my hand, I was going to go to my grave with it. My dad had arthritis, his joints were all huge, and my biggest mistake was not taking a picture of both hands at the time, because this left thumb was 50% bigger than it is today. So the pain was the first thing to go away, the mobility started coming back. But basically after that first session, we went home and I said to Goldie, wow, if my mind was just on fire. It's like, what just happened? If that happened, basically in 2 hours of exposure to this mat, I want to know what it's like after a year. Mm-hmm. So it was not a hard decision to actually find the money and figure out how it was going to get paid back and get one ordered.
And then there's Diane Zakowicz, who had literally tried everything to alleviate her back pain.
I didn't know where else to go. I've tried physio, I've tried all kinds of things. The last injection I had in my back was a steroid shot, and it was the most painful procedure I've gone through. And I swore I would never do this again. And I told my doctor this, and she says, "What? Really? You would never do this to help your pain?" "Not this," I said. "This is not for me." So that was that. So I lived on pills. I struggled through life. It really messed me up. And for many years, over 18 years now, I didn't know what to do. And then when I got my mat, when I was able to try one, I was like, oh, come on. Yes, sorry, I did have a T-lift done on my spine. That was my last result, my last hope to have pain-free. And I went 3 times to the specialist in 3 years, and I kept turning him down. I says, "No, I'm not ready. But at the last third year, I said, "Okay, fine." I said, I gave up. I says, "I need help. I need help. I need to get rid of this pain. I need something." So they did the surgery. That is something that I never want to go through ever again. So I finally recouped after that. That was a long journey, and just lived on medication. And the medication was starting not to work anymore.
So you had back surgery,
Yes.
and then you were living on medication,
Yeah,
and now you've been using the mat.
And
What's
now
the
I've been,
results of that?
well, now I'm a new person. I feel like I can dance. Not really good, but even walking and just hitting the floor with my heel, just slightly, would send that pain just beyond and over my, so anyway, we were lent the mat to try, and I had several treatments on it, saying, I don't know if I should believe this or not. So I went on the mat, tried it a few times. My husband tried it a few times. I says, well, there's something, but I'm not quite sure yet. And we had just purchased one a couple days before the seminar, and we were so anxious to try it and get it. So we finally got it. We've been using it since the end of June, and I can't believe what it's doing for me. I have no medication whatsoever. Wow. I am not on anything. So I tried to go, and I bought a back brace, and I bought, I used my pills, and, it was no help. But with this system, I will never get rid of it. This is
So
mine.
the bottom line here is that
Yes.
you don't experience any pain now?
Now, I do have a little pain, a lot less pain, but I can live my life. I don't need medication, yeah.
And it's only been 2 weeks.
And it's only been, is it 2 weeks since?
Yeah,
when did
well,
you-
today's
yeah,
the 7th
Yeah.
of July.
And we only tried it a few times before we got our mat. So,
So moving around now is
Yeah.
much less painful. It's
much
good.
less painful, yeah. I'm actually, my husband caught me in the kitchen on top of the counter, pulling out the kitchen screen from the windows.
Oh.
That day I washed all my windows, and I have a lot of windows to wash. And I had to get my ladder, and I had gone up on the, around the house, and I did inside and out. I was able to do that by myself, which I couldn't do before. I always got my husband to do. Yeah, I live to tell about it. So it is. It's not something that it's a hoax. No, it's not. It's definitely something I will never ever get rid of.
Wow.
I will live with this for the rest of my life. Yeah. With no medication.
Meltem owner says this: I've had my PEMF system for 1.5 years now, and it has literally changed my life. I suffered with fibromyalgia, and as an active yoga teacher, it was hard to complete my daily work tasks. I felt exhausted and in pain. This mat has not only cured the fatigue part of my issues completely, but it has helped me so much in managing the chronic pain that comes with it. I honestly cannot live without my mat, not even for a day. Gary Roberts, an NHL veteran and Stanley Cup winner, says, I am a firm believer in using an integrated approach to achieve a healthy lifestyle. This approach brings together proper nutrition, exercise, and recovery measures that help my body bounce back from the wear and tear of everyday life. I use PEMF therapy as one of my recovery measures that helps my body reduce inflammation, improve circulation, and relieve post-exercise soreness. It has been an effective tool to help keep my body recharged and reduce pain. If you don't include this in your life, the road you're going down doesn't lead to health. And finally, from Richard Quick, 6-time Olympic swim coach. This is perhaps the most phenomenal device I have ever seen. Prior to competition, it loosens up our athletes so they are able to compete better by increasing their range of motion and reducing their pain and stiffness. After competition, it assists in speeding up their recovery time so they're not stiff and sore. They bounce back refreshed and ready to go. For those that do suffer any type of pain and stiffness, this device is remarkable how it rids our athletes of their pain and stiffness and prepares them to compete again. I highly recommend that this PEMF device be part of every athletic program. To get the most out of this webinar, I recommend that you eliminate as many distractions as possible. So what are you about to learn? What is PEMF? Why it's important? Why you should care? And what's in it for you? First, I want to congratulate you for taking the time to educate yourself about the issues and solutions to improve your quality of life and being dedicated to your own and your family's health. Pain. Pain affects more Americans than diabetes, heart disease, and cancer combined. Let that sink in for a moment. What is pain? The International Association for the Study of Pain defines it this way. Pain is an unpleasant sensory and emotional experience associated with actual or potential tissue damage. Our physical bodies are tied to our emotional bodies. If you feel bad physically, you're going to feel bad emotionally, and vice versa. If you feel bad emotionally, you're going to feel bad physically. You just can't separate the two. Chronic pain affects over 100 million Americans. Acute pain serves as a warning signal that lets you know about damage to the body. However, pain can also occur without cause and persist even though the cause no longer exists. These chronic pains have lost their warning function. Health insurance and health providers also face skyrocketing financial costs, not only directly from the treatment of pain, but also indirectly in the form of pain-related loss of work and the consequential illnesses such as depression. The old way is to replace things. You're only as healthy as your cells, and when you have 75 trillion of them, cutting out a body part or using chemicals to affect a few of your cells to mask symptoms just isn't going to cut it. Your body is a living ecosystem where everything is interconnected with elements that are essential to life. Current medical approaches to pain therapy include pharmacological, surgical, and physical options. Although many patients can be provided with some pain relief this way, it is usually just masking the symptoms or blocking the pain signal instead of addressing the actual cause. Not everyone responds well to these options, and pharmacological and surgical approaches do have risks and side effects that you don't want to ignore. And then there's painkillers. The most commonly used non-opioid painkillers like ibuprofen or acetylsalic acid, aspirin, not only have an analgesic or a pain-relieving effect, they also have an anti-inflammatory one. However, their side effect list, especially in higher doses, is long. For severe pain, drugs of the opiate level are necessary, which also have a higher addiction and abuse potential and often ruin lives. The new way. PEMF is the new way to move forward on the path to wellness. PEMF works as a whole body battery charger, giving every cell optimal charge in as little as 8 minutes. Just like you need to plug in your phone to charge it, our bodies need to get recharged as well. Here's a great quote from Albert Einstein. "Future medicine will be the medicine of frequencies." Albert Einstein. And look deep into nature, and then you will understand everything better. And then there's Nikola Tesla. It's rumored that when Einstein was asked how it felt to be the smartest man on earth, he replied, "I wouldn't know. Ask Nikola Tesla." Tesla was the first modern individual to be recognized for manipulating electromagnetic fields for health purposes. His methods and patents in the early 1900s for the Tesla coil were also used for electromagnetic medical devices. Warning: there's a lot of confusion about the best PEMF devices and waveforms, frequencies, and intensities used. As you'll see later in this presentation, ours are based on NASA's 4-year, $3.5 million study and are perfectly safe for home use without any medical training. Also, the information in this webinar is for educational purposes and not meant to be a substitute for the services of a primary healthcare professional where you live. Our webinar is designed to provide you with non-medical rehabilitation information that supports recovery and a healthy lifestyle. A little about me. In 2015, after doing massage for 30 years and brain balancing alignments for 20, I had a shoulder injury that I'd had for about 6 months. And then, to make matters worse, I got into a bad car accident that totaled my car and left me seriously out of alignment and in a lot of pain. My regular therapist was out of town for 3 weeks, but fortunately, a good friend said, "Come on over and try out our magic mat." Trusting my friend and figuring I had nothing to lose, I went over right away. Mind blown only 24 minutes later. I'd been in serious pain, low back, and sciatica, and after only one 24-minute session, I was pain-free and back in alignment as if the accident had never even happened. I had to know more. It quickly and naturally took over my life. The number one reason people sought me out for massages and alignments was for chronic recurring pain. And as I said, when I first got my own mat, I had a shoulder injury that I'd had for about 6 months, and within 2 days it went away and never came back. I also started to notice when I put people on the mat before massages that they came back into balance in just 8 minutes. When you're out of alignment, one side of the body has more tension, and typically the other side has weakness. After laying on the mat, the tight side of my body had relaxed, allowing the hip to settle back into place, and both brain hemispheres started talking to the opposite sides of the body, so all the cells were communicating and coming into a place where they actually had energy and balanced strength. This totally explained to me what had happened so quickly and effortlessly after my car accident. Typically, when someone lays flat on their back, if you check the ankles and feet, one leg will appear to be shorter than the other. Whichever side of the brain you use predominantly, left or right, develops a stronger connection and creates tightness in the muscle structure on the opposite side of the body. This tightness shortens the muscles and the hip gets pulled up and rotated, making the leg on that side appear short. Car accidents and falls can create the same sort of effect, throwing your body out of structural alignment, so when you're walking, one foot literally hits the ground before the other, and your hips are in the wrong place, your knees and ankles are all out of alignment. And this misalignment puts pressure on nerves and causes pain. Being structurally in balance and having your brain talking to both sides of your body in a balanced way is absolutely one of the most important things you can do for your health. Each side of your brain is working the opposite side of your body, and when one side isn't communicating effectively, then things start to shut down. Typically, in a stroke patient, one side of the body can have limited function, or one side of the face can drop. The brain is unable to get messages through to that side of the body. So after as little as 8 minutes on the PEMF mat, the body would come back into structural alignment, and arm strength would also equalize. To have something where you can just lay down and push a button and in 10 minutes be back in balance, all from the comfort of your own home, is extraordinary. It's a life changer, and I became passionate about sharing this amazing technology. So if you or a loved one has been feeling frustrated with how your body treats you, then I'm glad you're here, because this could very well be the solution that you've been looking for. Get better sleep, decrease stress and anxiety, increase energy and productivity, and slow down or even reverse aging. Everything is frequency. Every one of our senses perceives and interprets frequencies and vibrations. We are meant to be in tune with the earth-based frequencies of 0 to 30 hertz. And before electricity came along, there were only earth-based frequencies. The Earth has a magnetic field generated by its core, and in the ionosphere, Schumann resonance is created by lightning strikes. Schumann measured this frequency to be 7.83 hertz. We are truly meant to be in harmony with these earth-based frequencies. Most people know they feel better when they're in nature, walking in the woods, hiking on the mountain, laying on the beach. But most of us don't spend enough time there, and now even when you do, you probably still have a cell phone signal. It's becoming harder and harder to find spaces where the environmental frequencies aren't harmful. We essentially have 4 brainwave states: delta, 0.5 to 4 hertz; theta, 4 to 8 hertz; alpha, 8 to 15 hertz; and beta, 16 to 31 hertz. Our relaxed alpha brainwaves correlate with the Schumann resonance frequencies. Also, all our cells have an electrical charge or voltage. We are electrical beings. And we literally would die without the magnetic field of the Earth. It protects us from the sun's rays, but also charges up our cellular batteries. The Earth has life because it has a magnetic field. And when NASA started sending astronauts into space, they realized that after only a couple of hours without the Earth's magnetic field, the astronauts would come back with compromised immune systems, depression, and even osteoporosis. So NASA did a 4-year, $3.5 million study that concluded that if you introduced low frequency, low intensity, high rate of rise and fall waveforms to human cell tissue, the cells were healthier and recovered faster. The waveforms, frequencies, and intensities that we use in our PEMF mats are based on the recommendations in the NASA study. We use a triple sawtooth waveform in the full body mat and a square wave in the local applicators. Every tissue in your body has its favorite frequency where it can heal the best. Nerves heal at 2 hertz, bone at 7 hertz, ligaments at 10 hertz, capillaries at 15 hertz. It's all different, but all within the 0 to 50 frequency range. The invention of electricity was the first time that we really had to deal with artificial frequencies. And as soon as electricity came along, we began spending more time indoors with electric lights all night long, and we totally got out of touch with the frequencies of nature. And in the last 10 to 20 years, we've been inundated with much higher frequencies from cordless phones, Wi-Fi, cell phones, smart meters, and other smart technologies. The big push now is for 5G and more data collecting smart devices. Frequencies are measured in hertz. 1 hertz is 1 cycle per second, and the Earth-based frequencies we are meant to be bathed in are pretty slow and low in the 0 to 30 hertz range. Electricity in North America is 60 hertz, but when you hear 3G and 4G wireless, We are talking about billions of hertz. So the unseen field of information that surrounds us everywhere now, even when you're hiking in the woods, is vibrating at billions of cycles per second, which overwhelms all the cells in your body and forces them to vibrate at a frequency that isn't allowing them to heal properly. When you're constantly surrounded by information vibrating at billions of cycles per second, your cells can't get back to that Earth-based 0 to 30 hertz frequency. The full body PEMF mat has 6 pure copper coils that generate a pulsed electromagnetic field to replicate the Earth-based 0 to 30 hertz frequencies. Both the pad and spot have 2 pure copper coils. The magnetic field is kind of like a bubble that emanates about 1.5 meters from the mat and passes through every cell of your body as if it were a vacuum. PEMF makes all your cells communicate and also charges up your batteries. All your cells have a voltage. Healthy cell voltage is -70 to -90 millivolts. Your heart has the strongest voltage. Your heart's the hardest working muscle in your body. It's going all the time and has the largest energetic field and the highest voltage at -120 millivolts. And that's why you never hear of heart cancer as a primary cancer. Your heart literally has too much energy to get cancer. Everyone with a cancer diagnosis has extremely low cellular voltage, usually around -20 millivolts. Chronic diseases show up as your voltage drops. A common complaint is, I have no energy. And that's when things start to go wrong. It's like when you plug in too many appliances in the kitchen, you blow a fuse. Well, the same thing happens in your body when it's overwhelmed and doesn't have enough energy to do something because now it has to digest your dinner instead of healing your ankle. We all have many things in our bodies that haven't had a chance to completely heal because we simply ran out of energy. So, apart from putting you back into balance and clearing all those negative frequencies from your body, PEMF is also charging up your cells so that they can maintain a healthy voltage. Circulation improves, oxygenation improves, inflammation decreases along with pain and stiffness. Your alkalinity improves as well, and minerals, nutrients, and oxygen can get in, and the toxins, carbon dioxide, and water can get out. PEMF is the solution to keeping every cell in your body resonating at the ideal frequency and charged to the proper voltage that was part of the grand design. We even have a built-in organ clock to make sure you're getting the right frequencies for the right time of day. Amazing things happen with this full-body battery charger. With everything I've done for my health over the years, I've always hit a plateau before where it's kind of, this is as good as it's going to get doing this, swallowing this pill, drinking this shake. Yet after 4 years, I have yet to hit a plateau and honestly don't expect to. My aging has reversed. You know, you're never standing still. You're either getting better or you're getting worse, and most people are on the downward slide. The miracles I've seen over the past 4 years are what drives me to share this with you in a much larger way. This technology really does need to be in everyone's home to protect them from the ever-increasing electrosmog and the coming threat of 5G networks. I strongly recommend you do some research into what 5G is all about. It's not just a step up from 3G, 4G, 5G, which is 3 gigahertz, 4 gigahertz, 5 gigahertz. 5G stands for fifth generation, and it's moving us into the range of 100 gigahertz. I post a lot of educational content on my Facebook page, facebook.com/PEMF solution. Also, the model used by the FCC to test cell phone radiation safety is that of a 220-pound male. Child and female models are not tested, and as well as having a higher percentage of water, children also have much thinner skulls. Will your front yard end up being a 5G cell tower site? I hope not. More and more people are developing electrohypersensitivity as we are continually surrounded by all these unnatural frequencies. For people who cannot control their symptoms with conventional pain management, or are looking for other alternative approaches to prescriptions and drugs, PEMF can be a safe, non-invasive, painless option. In some research, the effect of PEMF was comparable to the administration of 10 milligrams of morphine in terms of pain reduction. Our intelligent magnetic resonance stimulation technology is registered with the FDA and has a Class II medical device license with Health Canada for reducing aches and pains and increasing circulation. Magnetic fields affect pain perception in many different ways. These actions are both direct and indirect. PEMF increases endorphins, serotonin, and other hormones to relieve pain. It also reduces and temporarily interrupts the pain signal and actually heals the problem. Direct effects of magnetic fields are neuron firing, calcium ion movement, increased cell membrane potentials, endorphin levels, nitrous oxide and dopamine levels, and nerve regeneration. Indirect benefits of magnetic fields on body function are improved circulation and microcirculation, muscle relaxation, tissue oxygenation, reducing inflammation, pain relief, muscle and tissue repair, increasing bone density, and overall it simply improves the health of every single cell in your body. PEMF is a safe, non-invasive therapy with over 40 years of research, including over 20,000 research papers and thousands of controlled clinical studies on a variety of conditions. If you go to PubMed and search for PEMF and cancer or arthritis or diabetes, etc., you'll find lots of different studies. These slides are dark field microscopy slides from a live blood analysis and show the effect on live blood cells after only 8 minutes of exposure to PEMF frequencies at the lowest intensity. There is little risk when compared to the potential invasiveness of other therapies and the real risks of toxicity, addiction, and complications from medications. PEMFs have been extensively used for many different conditions. Many clinical trials have demonstrated that PEMF works by stimulating cells electrically, magnetically, chemically, and physically. PEMF improves intercellular fluid and blood flow, stimulates the production of ATP, increases cellular energy levels, increases cellular oxygen levels, promotes cellular healing, stimulates intercellular communication, and stimulates electron transport in the cells, resulting in significant pain relief, accelerated tissue repair and cell growth, faster healing of injuries, more endorphins, and a reduction of swelling and inflammation and fibrous tissue formation. This creates a legitimate baseline for PEMFs to be an addition or alternative in the treatment of pain and many other conditions. And all this from the comfort of your own home in as little as 8 minutes twice a day. Sometimes the bad things that happen in our lives actually put us directly on the path to the best things that will ever happen to us. Totaling my car and being in severe pain did that for me. So if any of this has piqued your interest or curiosity to learn more about this amazing technology, reach out and connect with me. A higher quality of life is waiting for you and your loved ones. And on a more esoteric level, when your frequency changes, your whole world shows up differently. I've not only seen this in my own experience, but in the lives of so many people who have joined me on this journey. Miracles do happen. Are you ready to change how you feel? Reach out by going to PEMFsolution.com/apply to have a no-pressure in-person conversation to answer any questions that you might have. And thanks for taking the time to watch this presentation.